Sorry guys, did you hear the news? Marvel killed comedies. That's right. At least according to Adam Devine. Adam Devine, an actor known from such projects as Pitch Perfect, Workaholics, Mike and Dave, They Gotta Get Some Wedding Dates. He has came out on the Theo Vonn Podcast and said that Marvel is partially to blame for the lack of comedy movies coming out into theaters. You know, we used to get comedies all the time, 5, 10, 20 a year. Now we're only getting a few of them, and it might be Marvel's fault. I'm gonna show a small clip from the podcast, and then I'm gonna show a tweet he said later to kind of clear things up.
I think Marvel ruined it. I feel like superhero movies kind of ruined comedies because people watch, you go to the theater and you expect to watch something that costs $200 million to make. And comedy movies aren't that. So you're like, well, why would I spend the same amount of money to go watch a little comedy in the theater if I could spend the same amount of money and go see something that is worth $200 million?
And also, is he right? We gotta get down to business. Is Marvel, Kevin Feige, are they killing our comedies? What the heck? He then later said on Twitter, or XX, my bad. This is misleading. I like Marvel and think these movies are cool. I was saying that studios, in trying to compete with Marvel, have stopped making mid-budget comedies. I miss seeing comedy in the theaters. You know, I think that he is wrong, I'll say that, but I kind of understand where he's coming from, and this isn't like a we all laugh at him for being dumb kind of a thing. This is me as someone who loves Marvel movies, who loves comedies, just kind of giving my take. I watch almost every movie that comes out in theaters too, so I think I have a little bit of I see a lot of stuff, a lot of bad stuff, a lot of good stuff. So the main point that I disagree with that he makes is that people, when they're trying to find a movie to watch, they go, why would I watch this small, 10, 20, $50 million film when I can watch $100 million film, a $200, $300 million film? They both cost $15. Why would I go see one of those small movies? Honestly, I don't think that people really care that much about how much a movie costs. I think that the Marvel and the superhero machines, it's a tough thing to handle for smaller studios because, let's be honest, those have such strong established audiences that no genre can compete with them. You can't release a big horror movie around that. You can't release a big drama around a superhero movie. It's not just comedies, it's all genres. You can't release anywhere near that. That is not a genre specific issue to comedy. Also, I think that more and more people are finding out that these big budget things don't always equate to higher quality. Two of the best movies we have this year, Barbie and Oppenheimer, are both relatively cheap compared to a lot of the Marvel films and things like that. And Indiana Jones, one of the more expensive movies of the year. It is about the quality of the product, the marketing. You have to give people a reason to go and see these movies, and sometimes comedies don't really do that. Another issue is they have a hard time marketing the movie as to who this audience is for. Comedy is a hard genre to tackle because comedy is subjective. Something that's going to be funny for me is not going to be funny for my mom, my grandma, or my 15-year-old brother. It's such a big thing, so you kind of have to make more niche comedies for certain demographics. I think when you go about it like that, you can find some more success. Let's look at one comedy this year that, while I didn't think it was that good, it did a phenomenal job at marketing to a niche, and that's 80 for Brady. 80 for Brady is a movie that, in my own personal life, a lot of my mom and my aunt and my grandma, they were all getting hyped for that. That was like freaking Avengers Infinity War for them. Sally Field, you get her out there, shit's getting hyped. That movie was made on a $28 million budget and it grossed over $40 million in the box office. Again, not a big upturn, but a profit nonetheless. One of the bigger comedies of the year, No Hard Feelings, that was made on a $45 million budget and it grossed $85 million. I think that while this movie doesn't target one niche in particular, I think the marketing just in general was awesome. Again, I haven't even seen the movie, so I can't speak on the quality of it, but the marketing, I saw trailers and posters for this thing everywhere. Again, people knew about it, they knew it existed, and it made the very smart move of releasing about a month a month or two before the big Barbenheimer craze. The idea that you have to make action comedies, things like that, drama comedies, things like Barbie, to where, yeah, it's hilarious, but there's also a message. The thing that you have to do that to succeed, I don't necessarily agree with. I think that if you make a legit, really funny movie that, again, it's either hilarious or you target a smaller niche without your budget getting too big, you can compete. You can get the word of mouth. You can get good reviews. You can get big actors who people want to see. People are excited. They want to see these dynamics. Again, a movie like No Hard Feelings, they leaned into that. They said, oh, this is Oscar nominated, Oscar winning Jennifer Lawrence, and now she's doing this goofy comedy. People are gonna want to see that. Adam Devine did this whole interview to promote one of his old movies, The Outlaws. And again, I haven't seen the movie, so I can't say it's good or bad. Again, I didn't know this movie existed, and that's a testament to the marketing. It doesn't help that it is a Netflix movie, because I think that sometimes it's so hard to gain traction, to gain attention on Netflix. I think that's really tough, especially now with all the strikes and things going on. That's already fighting an uphill battle. And again, I'm not hating the movie. I'm just saying, like, just facts. It has a low Rotten Tomato score, a 20% critics, and a 36% audience. That's not necessarily going to give people the benefit of the doubt. In fact, I think that if you make the right comedy film, I think since the budgets are so low, and again, this is someone who's not involved in the industry at all. I might know nothing about what I'm talking about, but just like the horror genre, since the budgets can be so low, the potential profits are so high. And again, I think if studios are given the right comedy with the right stars, and it's legit funny, and you put a good marketing campaign together, I think these movies can be successes. You're not going to make a huge $200-300 million profit like a comic book movie, but you know, like, know your strengths, gain a profit. That should be the mission. You can take a $10, $15, $20 million profit. That's still a win. Don't release around any other big movies. I know sometimes that's hard. And if you're going to release on Netflix, you got to market the heck out of that movie. I think Netflix has been getting a little cocky with that lately. They're like, oh, we're Netflix. People are just going to turn something on, you know? There's a new a Gal Gadot movie too that just came out. Like, I forget what it's called, but yeah, I didn't even know it existed. I don't think Adam Devine is dumb or, like, you know, you should be made fun of. I understand the frustration. He loves comedies, and we don't get that many of them. And again, that's not his fault. That's not any comedy actor's faults. But I think at the end of the day, it comes down to how the word of these movies is getting out. And sometimes, like, let's be honest, comedies just aren't that good. More videos all the time, more videos. Look at all these videos. That's a lot of videos. Wow.